Can I read a Bible verse for you real quick? Matthew chapter 16, verse 24. Then Jesus said to his disciples, "If anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." Jesus is telling us that if we want to follow him, then we need to deny ourselves. We need to surrender our desires in this life, and we need to surrender the things that not all the things, but some things that may not be in God's plan. We need to surrender those things in our life and follow Jesus. It's about putting God's will, putting God's plan above our own, and be willing to make sacrifices for our faith. So, say you really enjoy playing video games, then that's most of the time not going to be in God's plan for your life. So you have to be willing to cut those things out of your life and deny yourself, deny your desires, and surrender your desires to follow Jesus. So if you surrender your desires and surrender the things of your life that may not be in God's plan, then you take up your cross. So taking up your cross means you start following Jesus and living for him after surrendering your desires that you had in your life that may not be for God's plan, and then you follow Jesus. So this is a really good reminder that most of the time our plan is not always going to align with God's, and we have to be willing to make the sacrifices in our own life to surrender the things in our life that may not align with God's plan and let God do all the work. So we have to be willing to make a sacrifice for our faith. We have to be willing to put God's plan above our own, and we need to realize that even though most of the things that we want to do in our life might not add up with God's plan and align with his plan, that we have to trust in him no matter what. And if we follow him and we're faithful to him, he's going to show us a plan that's best in our life, and that's 10 times better than the plan that we already had in our own life for ourselves. Jesus loves you guys.